Europe views of Africa. What's the real truth? Until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter. For centuries, Europe has told the story of Africa, and the world listened. They painted us as poor, helpless, and chaotic. A continent of need, not of power. But the real truth, that's not the African we know. Africa is not a charity case. It is a continent of rhythm, resilience, and rising greatness. Yet the question remains, why does Europe still see Africa through a broken lens? The European view of Africa did not begin yesterday. It was born from colonial narratives, stories written to justify control. They called our ancestors uncivilized, not because they were white, but because they were wise in a way Europe could not understand. Why they built empires from African gold and hands? They told the world we had nothing. This is how history was written, with African sirens and European pain. Turn on European news today, and what do you see? Wars, poverty, and hunger. As if that's all Africa has to offer. You rarely see innovation in Nairobi, architecture in Lagos, or entrepreneurship in Accra. Africa is the world's youngest continent, full of thinkers, dreamers, and doers. But the media focus on our wounds, not our wisdom. They say the drama of despair, not the story of strength. For Africans living in Europe, this image becomes a burden. You walk into rooms where people are surprised you speak English, shocked that you are educated, and puzzled that you can read. You become a storyteller by necessity, every day explaining that Africa is not what they think. You represent millions with every conversation, every handshake, every success. But remember this, you are not ambassador of struggle. You are a symbol of possibility. The real truth is this, Africa doesn't need Europe validation. It needs its own voice. When Africans speak, the world must listen. When Africans unite, the world must respect. Europe's view may still be crowded by old myths, but our generation can write the narrative. We don't beg for seats at their tables. We'll build our own. Because Africa is not behind. It is becoming. Ask yourself, how do you describe Africa when someone asks you? Do you tell them about our poverty or our potentials? Our struggles or our strength? Every African abroad carries a microphone. Not in their hands, but in their hearts. And every word spoken shapes how the world sees us. So speak proudly, stand tall, because Voice of Africa in Europe isn't just a name. It's a mission, a movement to show the world that African truth is not tragedy. It's triumph. Do not let the world define you by its ignorance. Define yourself by your truth. The real truth is this, Africa has never been voiceless. The world simply stopped listening. Now we rise to speak again. This time with cruelty, pride, and power. This time the world will listen because the voice of Africa in Europe are rising.